Sam? Would you please stop asking my husband to withdraw such a large amount of money?
Good evening, Kumi. I'm sorry. What are you talking about? Large amount of money?
It's really no use pretending you don't know. I already know what you've been up to these days. You and your mother are taking way too much advantage of my husband. Well, I guess that my husband felt obligated to comply to your request as well, so I guess it can't be helped this time, but from now on, please refrain from doing that ever again.
Well, I still have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't think it's something that I have to explain to you, word for word. Just put a hand on your heart and take your time to think over what you've done. Think very carefully about living your life by sucking money out of my husband. Consider the shameful way of living in that way. Excuse me, then.
Josh, I just arrived. Oh, hi, brother. I'm glad you and Mom got back into the country safely. You're coming back the day after, right? That's right. The medical conference in Germany will finish tomorrow, so I'll head home when that's over. But to think that you let us accompany you for your medical conference so that we could enjoy sightseeing. When I first heard about it, I was so surprised. We had promised to take a trip together, but I didn't imagine us making an overseas travel. I wasn't able to fulfill our promise since I've been busy, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that. I couldn't spend as much as I would have liked, though, with you and Mom since I had to work. But there was a travel guide who spoke Japanese, right? Did things work out okay? Oh, that was so helpful. Both Mom and I couldn't speak German at all. Although it was the first time going overseas, I didn't feel so anxious and really enjoyed the time there. Thanks to you. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, I just remembered. When you are back in the country, could we get together? Yeah, of course. Is something up? There's something I want to talk about. About Kumi. About Kumi? Oh, is it something you mentioned earlier? Yeah, recently things have been getting worse. It also seems like she's been troubling you as well. Also, the matter I had asked someone to look into, that's been confirmed as well. I see. I'm sorry to trouble you when you must be tired from the trip. No worries. Then I should get prepared for the conferences tomorrow, so I'll message you again later. Alright, thanks so much for the trip.
Sam, aren't you and your mother really not embarrassed at all to be leading parasitic lives on your younger brother's money? Why don't you at least use your own money for the trip to Germany?
What? Oh, it's been a long time, Kumi. What do you mean by leading parasitical lives?
Do I have to explain everything to you? I know that Josh is a doctor and has a pretty good sum of money, but aren't you ashamed that you're using your brother's money to go overseas? Especially now that your brother has his own family? Don't you have any pride as his older brother? Or so he says.
Is that what you were referring to the other day?
Did you realize that just now? I am so shocked.
Well, as we had no intention of asking for his money.
But my husband paid for everything this time, didn't he?
That is true. But that was a promise we had made between Josh and I since a long time ago.
Oh my god, that is just unbelievable. You're telling me that you planned to get money out of him even before your brother was a doctor? I know that he already showed much promise for his career, but isn't that a bit too much?
No, that's not quite right.
Then what is it?
It's a little difficult for me to explain. When our father passed away, I was a senior in high school, and Josh was still in junior high. Because of our circumstances, I didn't go to college and started working right away after I graduated from high school. At that point, Josh already had a dream of becoming a doctor, so my mother and I decided that we would support him as much as we could.
Oh, so what you're saying is, because you supported him back then, you want him to help you out now that he's become a doctor. Basically, you want him to pay you back now. That's the promise you made, right?
No, that isn't how it is. I usually make sure that Josh doesn't spend his money for us. As for the trip to Germany the other day, it is true that Josh paid for our trip, But this is something that Josh had been saying he wanted to when he was able to graduate from medical school. And he did graduate. So that's how the trip finally happened. So this time, it was something special for all of us.
Well, however you frame it, it still doesn't change the fact that you let Josh pay for all your travel expenses. And also when you rebuild your house into an apartment.
What? That has nothing to do with Josh.
Really, these are the instances when one can see how stingy poor people can be. Please refrain from coercing Josh to give you money from now on. Never, ever again. Actually, never contact him again.
What? That is a bit too much.
Josh is my husband. I am the only one who can spend his money freely because I am his wife. If something like this ever happens again, I will not forgive you.
Kumi, I am getting a divorce.
What?
I'm getting a divorce from you.
Josh, what are you saying? Is this something to say over a message? What is going on here? I have no idea why you're saying such a thing.
And will you still not understand if I tell you that I am with my brother now?
What? With Sam? You told me it was your day off and you turned down my suggestion that we go out together.
That was so that I could see my brother.
Can it be that your brother is asking for your money again?
What?
This is enough. I warned him never to take money from you ever again. To think that he would have the nerve to meet up with you to ask for more money? Josh, don't you think you've had enough with a brother who is so poor and miserable?
What are you talking about?
There is also that matter regarding the trip you took with your brother and your mother to Germany. Also, a few months ago, they rebuilt their house into an apartment building, remember? Then they moved into one of the rooms in their apartment building and your brother became the owner and your mother is living with him, right?
Oh, that's right. What about it, though?
What do you mean, what about it, though? Your brother ordered you to pay for that money to rebuild that house into an apartment building, didn't he?
What?
Listen, I would understand if you became the owner of that apartment building since you gave out the money for it and you let your brother and your mother live there. That would be fine. But the owner of that building is your brother. That means that the income from the apartment rent goes straight into your brother's pocket. That is absolutely nuts.
Kumi, what are you talking about? The money spent on rebuilding that house into an apartment building was paid out by my brother.
What?
I gave them just $500 as a gift. How on earth did you arrive at such a misunderstanding?
What? Well, since your father died, your mother only worked part-time and is now living on her pension. As for your brother, he quit his company a few years ago and he's living off your mother's pension, right? How could those two possibly pay for rebuilding a house? The only relative who could provide them the money would be you, since you earn enough money as a doctor.
My brother is making as much money as I am now. While he was working at his company, he had a side job. Now that he can earn a good-sized income from that side job, he decided to quit his company and concentrate on his side job. Which means that he can work from home. You also have someone you know who works from home, right? Even though you knew someone who works from home, you automatically assumed that since my brother is spending most of his time at home, that he doesn't have a job. What you say is unacceptable. How absolutely thoughtless of you.
But your brother only graduated from high school, right? And the company he worked for was a very small-sized firm, no? How could someone like that manage to earn enough money as someone who works from home?
If there is something you're really good at doing and you can make it into a business, it's possible, depending on how hard you work for it. It would depend on the type of job, of course. Maybe one needs to get a license or a special training. As for my brother, he worked hard for it and made it work.
Then why didn't you tell me all of this before? You didn't tell me anything about the apartment building. You can't blame me for misunderstanding.
Listen, as for the plan to rebuild our house into an apartment building, that started way before we even started dating. As for the kind of work my brother is doing, I did mention it to you before.
What?
As for the trip to Germany the other day, I wanted to pay my brother and mother back for all the support they gave me when I was pursuing my dream of becoming a doctor. It's something that I offered them.
Well, support... Still, just because they helped you out a little bit over living expenses, paying for all the expenses for an overseas trip is too much.
My brother paid for 2/3 of my high school and medical school tuition,
What?
and 1/3 was from the insurance my father had for our education fee. But then my father died suddenly. My brother supported my mother, who was completely distraught. On top of that, he looked after me since I was a junior high school student at the time. And my brother was only 18 years old at the time. Just imagine what pressure he had at that time. To be honest, I don't think that taking him and mom for an overseas trip is not enough at all.
What? Are you still planning to give them money?
That is why I'm getting a divorce from you.
What?
You don't like it that I want to pay back my brother and my mother, right? But this is not so much that we have to lower our way of living.
What? But the trip to Germany? It's an overseas trip, so it's not just a matter of 500 or 1,000, right?
For that, I used the money that I had been saving up when I was still single. This is not something I should be blamed for at all.
But...
What is it with you, Kumi?
What? Me?
Do you think that I didn't notice anything?
What are you talking about?
The credit card that I gave you so that you can spend for our living expenses. You've used it to its maximum. Do you think I will continue to allow you to misuse the credit card like that?
But you told me you would let me be in charge of the household expenses.
I did tell you that I would ask you to handle our household expenses, but that did not mean that you could use the money freely. Let me tell you more. You think that I would tolerate you using the amount equal to my monthly income on your lover? Think again.
What?
Did you really think that I wouldn't notice anything? I can also see the credit card purchase history, you know. Things looked fishy, so I looked into it.
You were looking at the bill?
That is the so-called family credit card, so it's natural that I can also see the bill. To begin with, that money is withdrawn from my bank account. So if I didn't notice anything, that would be really funny, wouldn't it?
Oh, God.
Anyway, I hired a detective to find out if you really had a lover. I now have proof of it, so you can't deny it. I also can't forgive you for all the insults you said regarding my brother and mom. I'm divorcing you.
Wait,
What for?
what?
If you were telling me to wait on the divorce, I can't oblige.
Maybe we can talk over this.
As for that, we can do that through my lawyer.
A lawyer?
The contract for the apartment we are living in now is scheduled to be renewed in 2 months. So I decided not to renew it this time.
What?
I still have some things left in the apartment, so I will go back once. After I pack everything, I will be gone for good. I want you to get yourself out of the apartment as soon as possible.
What? Wait.
What do you mean, wait?
What? Well, that is...
If it has no meaning, it's just annoying.
Josh,
Please talk to my lawyer. Goodbye. A few hours after we exchanged messages, I headed over to my younger brother's place to move his things out. My brother's wife, Kumi, was not there. Well, it was good timing. I managed to get all of my brother's things out in that short amount of time. As for Kumi, it seems like she ran to her lover's place for help, and my brother has confirmed that fact. Her things have been sent, cash on delivery, and the lawyer also paid her a visit. A month later, everything was settled and the divorce was finalized. As for Kumi and her lover, they had to pay for the consolation money plus all the money they had spent together. It was a one-time payment. The amount came to $70,000. They had to take out a loan, but they couldn't ask for help from their relatives, so they got themselves into a fix. Now, they are living days of regret and hard work.
Hey sis, I need to tell you something. What is it? Well, Connor just got brought into the hospital. He did? Are you sure? Why is he at the hospital? He went on a work trip this morning. Did he get into a car accident on his way there or something? You could say that. What do you mean? Is he okay? What happened? So, he got rushed in with another woman and they both arrived naked. What do you mean, naked? With another woman? I don't understand. They were unconscious when they got here, but they're fully awake now. Tell me exactly what happened. I can't be too sure, but I'm pretty sure he was having an affair. They said that he was getting it on with the other woman in his car somewhere. They got ambushed by the woman's husband who was following them. The enraged husband apparently rammed his car into the car they were in. That's the story so far. So, they got into a car accident while they were trying to get it on? That scumbag! How could he be so disgusting? He has shame, acting like some animal on heat? I know, it's so messed up. And that's the thing with working at an ER. We see all kinds of messed up things, every nasty, screwed up second of it. Anyways, are you okay? I can't believe he'd do something like that. I thought everything was fine with you guys. What nasty things has he been hiding from you? I can't imagine what you must be going through right now. There really is no such thing as a perfect marriage. I should have known when he told me he was going on a work trip. That lying piece of trash! He was probably out there spending that time with that woman. Yeah, I hate to say it, sis. But I knew he would be trouble. He was a little too charming and good-looking for his own good. You were pretty head over heels about him, though. I don't think his looks have anything to do with him acting like such an idiot. I think he might just be born a cheating, lying womanizer. You really can't trust anyone anymore. There really isn't a good man left in this world. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to make him pay for this. Wow, look at you, and here I thought you'd be sobbing and running to him. Well, he made me this way. One nameless woman after another, I've frankly gotten used to his cheating ways. I'm not even all that surprised by this. So, what are you gonna do now? I need some time to think. Alright, sis. You look after yourself. Let me know if there's anything I can do. Alright, thanks for telling me all of this. Don't worry, I'll handle it.
Woman, what's wrong with you? Your husband is at the ER. How dare you not come and check up on me?
Why would I check up on you? I have no interest in seeing you or your mistress naked.
No, did your sister blab about everything? Her and her big mouth. You're just like her, always nagging and talking behind people's backs.
The audacity! You're the one who was trying to get it on with your mistress in the car, having to be rushed into ER naked? You should have some shame. Don't you have anything to say to me?
Say what? Your blabbermouth sister already told you everything. If you're looking for an apology, forget it. Yeah, I had an affair, so what? It's just a fling. It doesn't mean anything. I just met up with that woman because she was around the area. It was her crazy husband that made everything a big mess, slamming into the car like a maniac. He made a fool out of himself and embarrassed everyone in the process. I swear, I'll sue him. I'll make him pay for what he did.
You were having an affair with his wife, and you want to sue him? You want to make him pay? You're the one who should be paying for what you've done. How on earth are you so self-absorbed? You would be lucky he doesn't come at you with everything he's got.
And like I was telling you, it was just a one-time thing. I don't even ever want to see her again. It's just life. I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it's really her husband's fault for not being able to satisfy her in the first place. If he was such a great guy, why would she even have an affair with me? He completely blew things out of proportion. I can't believe he made me come to the ER naked. What a drama queen. I'm the real victim here. He should really watch out for what he's got coming for him.
You sound like a totally self-centered psycho. You're completely insane.
That reminds me, I think the accident messed up that woman pretty bad. She's been talking gibberish. I think the concussion might have done something to her head. Oh well, more reason to never see her again. Let's just forget about everything that happened today, okay? Let's just go back to how things were.
Your narcissism is mind-blowing. You should know that you're not in such a good shape yourself. You're on a total bed rest and you call your mistress useless? Did you ever think about anyone else besides yourself?
My injury is temporary. I'll bounce back in no time. It might take a minute for me to get back to my old self, but all this is temporary nevertheless. With a little rehabilitation therapy, I'm all good, baby. You can thank my naturally athletic body for that.
What? You think you'll be fine after a little rehabilitation?
Yeah, that's what the doctor told me. He also told me to stay positive. I think that's to help me recover faster or whatever.
Wow, such a great doctor. Telling a lying cheater to stay positive. Well, I get it though. Because saying you're completely paralyzed from the waist down and will never be able to stand or walk would be something that might be a little too real to tell his narcissistic patient. You need to come to terms with what's going on.
What are you talking about? Have you lost your mind? I know you're kinda mad, but you shouldn't make stuff up like that. That's mean.
I'm not making anything up, it's facts. Your doctor told me himself.
No way. He hasn't said anything like that to me.
The hospital called. They wanted to talk to his wife, so I went and had a little chat with your doctor.
You were at the hospital? And you didn't come to see how I was?
I didn't have it in me to face my husband who got injured while doing the dirty with his mistress. Is that so hard to believe?
What? Wait, so I'm really paralyzed from the waist down? I can't walk anymore? I thought this was just temporary. If you're joking, this isn't funny. Stop this nonsense right now. You're just angry at stuff, so you're lying to make me feel bad.
I don't need you to believe me, but tell me this. Can you move your legs right now? I didn't think so. You should at least have some idea. You're super in touch with your own body after all.
Nah, this is all just temporary.
All right, whatever helps you sleep at night. Because you'll do anything to make yourself feel better, right? Nothing bad can happen to you because you're just so important.
It's like you don't even like me anymore. I'm your husband. Think of the last 10 years we shared. Why aren't you acting like yourself? You need to stop lying and pretending that you don't care about me. I know you're just devastated right now. Your husband is paralyzed from the waist down. Be the good wife you've always been and get me some help.
Yeah, no. I really have no sympathy for you. I stopped being your loving wife a long time ago. There is no way anyone could care for a man who only ever cares about himself, always out there looking for the next broad that would give him the time of day. I am numb from all that you've put me through. I've had enough.
Who are you? Am I even talking to my wife right now? Since when have you become so ruthless? A real woman should care for her man. You're mine and I need you.
I am only a real woman to a loving and faithful man. You are neither of those things. Don't you dare claim me as your woman. I know all your antics. It's not gonna work.
I can't believe this. That's cold. I'm on bed rest, unable to move a muscle. I know you're angry about the stuff that's happened, but do you really have to be that evil? Do you know what my life is gonna be like now? Living as a paraplegic? As a disabled person? I'll never be able to stand up or even walk by myself. How on earth am I supposed to live like this?
You're disabled, not dead. I'm sure you'll be fine. You still seem to have that big mouth of yours.
I didn't mean it like that. Come on. How am I supposed to do anything now? This is just so humiliating. Everyone is gonna give me weird looks. I can't live like that.
Why not? I don't see this as being all that bad.
What?
Remember all the times you cheated on me? Whenever you got caught, you had the excuse of saying that it's just how it is. That you couldn't help it because that's just what men do. Telling me over and over that what's in your pants had a mind of its own, and somehow you sleeping with all those women wasn't your fault. Consider it problem solved. That thing of yours won't be giving you any more troubles now. No more flings, no more marriages for you to ruin. I see that as a win for humanity.
Stop making stupid jokes. Now's really not the time. Are you really the woman that I've spent the last 10 years with? I just found out that I'll be paralyzed for the rest of my life, and you're saying that this is a win? Do you know how much I just want to end it all right now? How miserable I am?
Tell it to someone that cares. It's karma, sweetheart. You reap what you sow. All of your actions leading up to now finally caught up with you. I don't see why I should care about your feelings at all. You certainly didn't care. Not about me or our children, only yourself and whoever your next conquest was. Have you ever even thought about the suffering you caused? How many times I considered just ending everything?
That's not what I intended. I feel like you're just being petty. You should get over it. I know I did. The past is the past. My concern right now is that I'm freaking paralyzed. I don't care about karma or whatever you want to believe in. I don't care. I didn't ask for this. You better come to your senses quick. I need my wife right now.
No. I don't think I have it in me to look after you for the rest of my life. Sorry. I know better than to devote my life to a man who just isn't capable of thinking about anyone else but himself. So what are you going to do now? I doubt that you'll be going back to your job in that state that you're in. How are you even going to make a living, let alone even do basic things? Or are you more worried about the situation in your pants?
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about your diapers, sweetheart. You'll now be wearing one for the rest of your life, and I doubt that you'll be able to change it yourself. I wonder whose job that's going to be. I mean, you could probably ask your parents. I wonder what they'll think about that. Or maybe you should call one of your girlfriends. See who might be up for the job. I know that it might be a little humiliating at first, but who knows? Someone out there might love you enough to volunteer. Time's ticking. You better get started on making those calls. There's a real woman that you always wanted out there. I believe in you.
Stop, please. I get it. You're upset with me right now. But please, I feel like I've suffered enough. I paid the price for all of the stupid things I did to you. Can't you see? Do you really have to be so cruel to me right now?
I suffered for over 10 years. The betrayal, neglect, the heartbreak, and you want me to have pity? If it weren't for the kids, I would have left you a long time ago. Our twins needed their father, no matter how pathetic he is. That was the only thing that kept me going, through all the years of pain. As much as I was dying inside, I did it for them.
Yes, just think about our kids, our little 4-year-old twins. They need me. They need their father in their lives. They would have no one to look up to if I was gone. Who will be there for them for their parent-teacher meetings, the plays, or whatever they do nowadays? I'm so glad that you finally came to your senses, honey. Let's do this together, like we always used to.
Our sons are 5 years old, not 4. You would know if you knew when their birthday was, which you clearly don't, because you'd never bother to show up at anything. And what, did you really say whatever they do nowadays? Do you even listen to yourself talk? You have never been there for our twins, always with the promises, yet never keeping a single one. Don't you dare pretend that you've been anything close to a father to our sons. When was the last time you even had a meal with them? Admit it, they've never been a priority to you. You were always out doing whatever felt good to you. I really should have left you a long time ago. Can't believe that I let this happen. To me, to our sons. You're a terrible husband and father. I want a divorce.
Absolutely not. Look, I'll do whatever you want me to do, please. I can't live without you. I won't divorce you.
I have all the means to file for a divorce, and it'll not be favorable for you. All your nasty text messages, the photos.
What?
You really thought you were being let off the hook all these years? I know you left an entire history of your dirty deeds on your phone, all your disgusting affairs with so many women. I have more than enough information to take you to court and get everything that I want from you. The years I've spent having to go through all of that, you have no idea the strength it took for me to even exist in the same space as you. Just like a fool, I'd hoped that one day you'd realize what horrible mistake you were making, that maybe I'd be able to forgive you. For the sake of our kids, somehow we might be able to make it work. But as they say, a leopard doesn't change its spots, and I was prepared for the worst. I really did wish that things could have worked out at some point, but I guess none of that matters now.
What are you saying? You're such a despicable woman. How could you say something like that? Here I am, learning that I'll be a paraplegic for the rest of my life, and you were doing what? Going through the dirt you have on me? I can't believe you'd plan something like that. You are pure evil.
Yep. Sorry. It is what it is, right, honey?
You're sick.
I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying this. Knowing that all those years of pain you caused have eventually come back to bite you.
I don't believe this. You are out of your mind. This is not happening to me. You were preparing for this all this time?
Yep. Consider this your punishment. I'm going through with the divorce whether you like it or not. You have no say in my decision. Save your whining for the court. Oh, and by the way, you better be prepared to pay for everything.
Why are you doing this? Do you not have an ounce of sympathy? I'm paraplegic. I won't be able to work or live alone. How am I going to feed myself or get a job? Please, you're being unreasonable right now. Don't you at least feel a little sorry for me?
Nope, not sorry at all. Like I said, it's karma. You reap what you sow. Oh, and speaking about money, I know you can pay for everything. You've been at the same company for the last 15 years. You can use the half of your severance to pay for whatever I'm asking, and the other half is alimony and child support.
But how will I live?
In case you didn't know, I have kids to feed and don't have time to think about you. Not that you'd know this. It's what a responsible parent does, putting their children first. I'm packing your stuff and sending it to your parents. As soon as you get discharged from the hospital, I'll be serving you the divorce papers, so you better get well soon, sweetheart. Once that's done, I never want to see you again. Whether you live out on the streets or move back in with your parents, I don't care. Just get out of my life. That's everything I wanted to say. This conversation is over. Don't contact me unless it's about the divorce. After that, I received the alimony and some portion of the child support from my ex-husband. Since he couldn't go back to his old job or get a new one, his parents agreed to pay the child support on his behalf. His parents also gave me a sincere apology. They were incredibly embarrassed and ashamed about how things unfolded, and promised me that they'll do everything they can to help me give our twins the best life possible. Although it might be foolish for me to say this, but I really do hope my ex-husband learns from all of this. That one day he'll realize how much pain and suffering he's caused others, to be able to feel remorse for his actions. Then maybe he'll finally start being a father to our sons,